we got to the part where she had told me she was pregnant, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all, like, I have no way of proving it, but just in my opinion, I don't really think that she was pregnant. But even if she was, I kind of felt like whether she was pregnant or not, she was just using it as a way to like kind of hold on to him, because she seen that he was like pulling away. And I already didn't like how she was like behaving when it came to him, but her doing that just really like kind of turned me off, I'm not gonna lie. But also around this time when everything was going on, it was exam week for me. Now mind you, I always worked all the way through college, so my schedule will always be, you know, I will go to my 3 classes during the day, and then I will go home, take a nap, and then I will work overnights. And around this time I was working doubles and things like that. After Myra had told me she was pregnant from Gym Rat, she kind of started to like slowly push the conversations to always being about him, and I was so aggravated with her because of that, because I had already told her that I did not want to talk about him at all. So I felt like she was starting to push a boundary, and I was like, the more we talk about him, the more I'm gonna have to tell you my opinion. And she would get mad at me when I would tell her like, you know, I think you need to leave it alone, or I don't think this is a good idea. Or like even sometimes when I would tell her like I feel like you deserve better, she would get aggravated and hang up. So I'm like, you know, you don't want to hear what I have to say. I don't want to hear you talk about this man. So if this is all we're going to talk about, like, you know, I'm not really going to be too pressed to pick up the phone. So we would talk from time to time, but this was also around like exam week time, so I wasn't talking to her as much as I usually would. And then we would get on the phone, she would start talking about him, so I would like rush her off the phone. So I think like she was getting a little bit aggravated with me also, because when I started to rush off the phone, she got to the point where she would like call me and she would want the conversation to kind of be about like why I didn't answer the phone. I'm sorry, you're not my mother. I didn't answer the phone because I didn't feel like talking that day. Now what? Like, it's really that simple. So the phone call just started to feel very stressful, so I probably stopped answering the phone for maybe like 3 or 4 days. But she would text me and I would still text her back. So when we would text, it would kind of be about like drama that's going on TikTok, or she would send me like events that's in my area. Mind you, I think I had already told y'all in the other part of the story time, her sending me events really wouldn't be going out of her way too much, because she would already take those events and post it on her, like, you know, networking page and things like that. So when she would send me the events, I'd be like, thank you. But also, one thing that I did notice about Myra was one of those people who would kind of like incentivize you to talk to her. And I kind of feel like it was like a form of manipulation, because I realized that when she was doing it to him, like when he wouldn't answer the phone or he wouldn't come see her for a while, she would be like, oh, but you know, I have like these energy drinks and things like that. So Myra had like a lot of brand deals with people, and one of the brand deals she's had was like a coconut water, and another one was like an energy drink. So she wouldn't be able to drink all of it, because they would literally send her like 2 to 3 cases every week. So she would always give them to him, and he would always come get them. But when they would be at odds or he just didn't feel like seeing her, he wouldn't come get them, and she would like constantly remind her. And it got to the point where it's like, even because he was a photographer and she was like a plus size model, so she would need people to take her pictures, but she was very well connected. Lots of people wanted to take her pictures. She was like kind of like bothering him by, hey, are you gonna take my pictures? Are you gonna take my pictures? And he was like, no, I'm not gonna take your pictures, because I feel like you're just trying to get me over there so you can like kind of be intimate with me, and I'm not interested. And when he said that, I'm like, he is telling you that he does not want to be involved with you at all. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me and my pride, but you're not going to tell me one day that you're completely done with me or over me, and then the next day you just have to see me. Like, that's not fair to me. So when she was telling me this, I was just like, girl. So I think that was probably like the last time we talked, and I probably didn't answer the phone for her for maybe about 2 days. So on the 3rd day, she texted me and she was like, hey, did you go to the event that I sent you? Mind you, she would send me so many events, I wasn't even sure what event she was talking about. But this day in particular, I knew I wasn't going to be able to go, because I think I had to either work an overnight or work a double. So I was like, hey girl, no, I'm not going to be able to go to that event tonight, but thank you for sending it to me. I appreciate it. She didn't say anything back to me, and I happened to get on Instagram, and on her close friend story, not even 5 minutes ago, she was posted up on there talking about me. I'm going to include the video. Hopefully I can change her voice so y'all can actually listen to it, so y'all can understand why I was so aggravated. But I'm going to play it for myself now so I can remind myself why I was so aggravated.
Is 100% when people complain to me over and over and over and over about not getting opportunities or not being invited to events and not being seen as a creative, and then you send them events. And I'm not saying, so brief break, I'm not saying that everything I send you have to go to, because as you guys can see, I'm inside ass bitch. I don't go to everything. But don't say that you don't know about any events, period, anywhere in the world, and then when you get sent an event, you don't fucking go, or you get sent opportunities, you don't apply to it because it's too long, then sit down and shut the fuck up and stop complaining. Because clearly it seems like nobody want to work these days. Seems like everybody want to sit their ass down and fucking complain. Shit is not going to get handed to you, especially because and fucking complain.
Oh, sorry, there's more.
Shit is not going to get handed to you, especially because we're black. We're black people.
Okay, so let me just go down the list and the reasons why all of that aggravated me, and all of it was pure D cow manure. So for one, I had never told her that like I wasn't taken seriously like as a creator, or I wasn't offered opportunities or anything like that. Me and her were having a conversation about the difference between networking in New York and networking in Florida. Any social media content creator, any influencer can tell you that networking in New York and networking in Florida is different, because New York is like the networking capital. Like there's businesses there, there's meetings, there's events, there's pop-ups, like everybody's super connected. Down here, I feel like also because we're in the South, we're not that advanced. Like, you know, people do their thing. Like we do have some like, we have certain businesses like, you know, really clawing their way up, but they're really doing it on their own. And Florida's already very clawed in the, like, crab in the bucket, sorry. So it's like, I just feel like there's more network opportunities up there than it is here or whatever. So I never had told her anything of that sort. And then for two, just to make it abundantly clear, she wasn't mad about the fact that she had sent me an event and I didn't sign up for it. She was mad at the fact that I didn't want to sit on the phone and listen to her cry about gym rat. So now she's putting it in that way. And then also, it's just the tone that she was speaking in. For you to, oh, shut the F up and stop complaining. And who have you ever talked to like that? When have you ever talked to me like that in your life? You would never talk to me like that over the phone or in person. So the fact that you would get on your close friend story and like indirectly come at me crazy, you know, I would snatch your tongue out your mouth. Like, I was like, that was insane to me. I think that was what really got me, because I'm like, girl, who are you talking to? Your imaginary friend? Because me and you both know that you would never talk to me like that. Like, that was crazy to me, especially for us to be friends. For you to even come out your mouth like that about me, I was like, oh, that's insane. There was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember. Hold on.
Into event. See, you don't know about any events, period, anywhere in the world. And then when you get sent an event, you don't fucking go down and shut the fuck up and stop.
Oh, I think it was just like the tone in which she was trying to make it seem like, oh, she's trying to build or she's trying to help and things like that. One of the things that I learned from being around her is she's one of those people that offers you help so that when she's angry with you, she can throw it back in your face, kind of like this. Because for you to get on there popping it like you can connect me with anything, I already have brands and connections working with people that you still are trying to get in the door with. You were following me and a follower of me long before I even knew who you were, which isn't an issue because, you know, everybody crosses their path at a different time. But remember, you crossed my path first, so let's not do too much, boo, because I'm it. Never needed you. So I kind of like started up and I asked her, I said, LOL, this about me? She starts, oh, you're blowing me. Why would you ever ask me if this is about you? I would never say this about you. This is about one of my other friends. Blah, blah, blah. And she just keeps telling me how I'm blowing her. And she can't believe, like, she's just so aggravated with me. And I told her straight up, like, for one, even the way you responded to this message shows that we're not friends. Because if this was any of my other friends, y'all, like, just being for real, my actual friends, we never want to do anything to hurt each other's feelings, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally. We will apologize and clarify the situation. A simple, hey, no, this is not about you. I would never talk about you in this way. I'm sorry that you even thought this was about you. Would have cleared the situation. Because, you know, I post my little memes and quotes too, and I do my little rants, but I make sure my friends never could even think it was misconstrued to be about them. And if any of them ever ask me, I will tell them straight up, no, this is not about you, because I love my friends. I would never want to hurt them. But for you to be talking out the side of your fucking neck to me, it just goes to show that we're not the friends I thought we were. And that's exactly what I told her, and I politely removed her on social media, and that was the end of it. So she gets to texting and calling my phone, oh, it's not that serious for you to be blocking and removing me. That's very childish, especially because you asked me a question, like a stupid question, blah, 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 like you're blowing me. And then she goes on to say, oh, I know you're used to people in your life being fake towards you, but that's not the issue over here. So, I feel like by her saying that, that was like a dig to me, because I had confided in her about, you know, me and one of my like super close friends falling out, and she was the only person that I had really told about it, because, you know, excuse me, I was friends with this person for like 5 to 6 years, so I really couldn't talk to anybody about it back home because they knew us, and I never wanted to feel like I was gossiping about her. So I just was so happy to tell her about it because she was far out. And then look at how that bit me in my ass, because she turned around and threw it back in my face. So she's like trying to argue with me and all this extra stuff, and I kind of like told her, like, you know, just the way you're behaving right now, like, I'm not interested in having a friendship with you. Let me know how much I need to send you so I can get my belongings from you, and then that'll be it. Like, we'll never have to speak again. Just let me know how much it'll be. Oh, I'm not sending anything until you talk to me. We're gonna talk about this because you don't want to hear where I'm coming from. Woo, woo, woo. And I'm like, wow, like, that's kind of crazy. Like, you don't want to send me my clothes because you got on your close friend story talking about me. And that's another thing. I kind of already peeped game. She thought she was gonna be able to like talk crazy at me because my stuff was over there. She know I still wanted that stuff. But honestly, y'all, no shade, it was really like boots and stuff like that, and the dude that I was talking to at the time, he had bought a lot of that stuff for that trip. So yeah, I was a little bit sad because a lot of that stuff was brand new and I wasn't going to get a chance to wear it. But at the same time, you're not about to hold no boots over my head and talk to me crazy. I wouldn't give a damn if my whole wardrobe was at your house. You're going to respect me when you talk to me and talk about me, even though you ain't put a name on it. So I'm like, you're weird. So when she said all that, I was like, matter of fact, keep it. That's fine. So I was talking to one of my homeboys about it the next day, and he was like, you know, you're better than me because you haven't said nothing on social media about it. And she been on there talking about you. And I was like, no, I don't like doing that, bringing all my problems to the media, whatever. And he was like, you know, well, she done had your stuff. She ain't said nothing about sending you your stuff in days. You better go in there and get your money. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give her some time. If she still don't send me my stuff by next week, then I'm going to go on social media and talk about it. Because he was right. Like, you know, she's trying to harbor my stuff on me like she's holding it over my head. But I can get on here and make a story time, or I can go on TikTok and talk about it, and I would have had the money back to replace everything in that suitcase. So I think I maybe gave her like another 2 days, and I believe I might have texted her about my stuff, and she still wasn't interested in talking about my stuff, only about our friendship. So I got on live and I started talking about it. So people started putting 2 and 2 together, and I also had said her name, so people started tagging her, stuff like that. All of a sudden, when people start tagging her, she has all the time in the world to respond now. Because before, when I was asking her about my stuff, she really was ignoring me half the time. Soon as she gets tagged, she's blowing my phone down. Oh, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I'm not going to beef on social media with you. Like, I've been in the hospital. Nobody was ignoring you. And she started sending me all these, like, doctor's notes and, like, just proof that she was in the hospital, things like that. I'm like, you know what? Like, whatever, just send me my stuff, like, so we can end this. Because, like, once you send me my stuff, there'll be nothing to talk about, and we could just, like, block each other. And she's still trying to talk about the friendship and all this extra stuff, and I'm just not interested. So 3 more days go by. She still hasn't sent me my stuff, still hasn't said anything about it. She hits me up on the 3rd day. Hey, you know, I've been super sick, sending me more of her hospital and doctor's notes and things like that. Oh, you know, I haven't really moved. I haven't really been talking to anybody. The payments, blah, 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 blah. And she would do this, like, multiple times throughout the day. Like, she would kind of, like, throw her medical thing in my face. Like, even when I wouldn't text back, she would be like, yep, the pain meds are kicking in. Gonna go to sleep now. Hopefully my stomach feels better when I wake up. And I'm just like, I don't know. I felt bad for her, but also I did not want to let her know that I felt bad for her, because I also seen that she was trying to, like, you know, kind of use that as a way to garner sympathy. So she was really getting on my freaking nerves, I'm not gonna lie. So she ends up sending it, and the whole time she's, like, on the way to the post office. She's sending these pictures from the post office, on her way to the post office, on the train. Like, she was sending me pictures while she was packing and stuff, and I'm just like, at this point, it's starting to just feel like an excuse to talk to me. She finally sends it off. She sends me the receipt. I pay her back, and, you know, we call it a day. So she's still texting me, and she was like, oh, are you still interested in talking? Like, you know, are you ready to talk now that your stuff has been sent? And I was like, no. So on Easter, I started getting no caller ID calls, like, back to back. And she calls me, and she's like, you know, I've been trying to give you your space, but I really like to talk. And I'm like, look, Myra, like, it is a holiday. Like, I'm about to go spend time with my family, because I was getting ready to go to this car show in Broward. I had already been drinking, and my patience was just, I was not in the mood to argue with Myra this day. She's like, oh, you know, I don't want to do this either, because, you know, around this time is the time where I lost my great grandma. You know how hard this time is for me. And y'all, I just kind of felt like she was using that as another way to garner sympathy, because not to be insensitive and not to be rude, but her great grandma had passed a while before we even met each other formally. And I didn't think it was I don't even think her grandma had passed anywhere near Easter. So I was, like, super confused. But yeah, that whole situation was just weird. But that would be the end of this story time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for all the love you guys showed to part 1. I'm going to work on being more consistent, and we're going to be on our way to 2K soon. Bye. I will see you guys in the next story time.